Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the BG Show. I'm here to do a spoiler review for episode 1 of The Penguin, the new HBO show. Of course, in the Robert Pattinson Batman universe. If you haven't seen the Robert Pattinson Batman movie, I'd suggest watching that first. I also have a non-spoiler review up. If you haven't seen the episode yet and you want some non-spoiler thoughts, so go check that out. Getting into this episode, I like the show a lot. It's pretty much what I expected. I guess I'll get into the big points of this episode. Obviously, was kind of the Penguin dealing with the Falcones, dealing with the Maronis, who are kind of the two crime families in Gotham, who I always thought my dream project was to kind of get Scorsese to direct these movies. And that's what really frustrated me. And I'll make a whole nother video about that. Is the whole Scorsese thing was, instead of getting into a battle with him, why don't you invite him in and have him direct some of these mob characters? But anyway, that kind of leads me to the next thing, which is a lot of people are saying this is kind of the Penguin as Tony Soprano. And I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I think it is a little bit accurate, obviously. If you look at the ID of the character Victor, I'm all over the place, so I'll kind of straighten out. But there's a character Victor, and it says Gotham, New Jersey. So at least in this show, and I think historically Gotham, some people say it's supposed to be New York City, other people say Jersey City. I think Jersey City is historically accurate, but I always saw Gotham City as kind of a mix of New York City, some elements of Chicago, and maybe some Jersey City, Newark elements. It's kind of ambiguous, but it's definitely on the East Coast. And so anyway, we get into the show, and it kind of picks off right where the Batman left off. Not right, but I guess a week or two later, I would guess. And we kind of do some cuts to the end of the Batman where he's saving people. And I don't know if they show him or not specifically, but it's all the news stories about the Batman. So we know it kind of sets the time period. We know it kind of takes place and that the Batman events have already happened. And I think they did it pretty well. Sometimes when they do these things, especially in the Marvel shows recently, I don't like how in the movies they kind of just hit you over the head with it, and I kind of like how this was a little bit more subtle, just to kind of set it. Of course, everyone talks about his makeup. His makeup's really good, but you got to remember, Colin Farrell's also from Ireland. He's got a strong Irish accent, so his voice as the Penguin is also really good. And so, now the one thing it does is it recasts Falcone, who is played by John Turturro in the Batman, into, I don't know who the actor is, but they recast him for some reason, which I thought was weird because he wasn't even in the show. They killed him, which I wasn't too happy about. Killing Falcone is a pretty big deal, but they decided to do it off screen. And so he has he has a son and a daughter who are going to take over. The son is from the Miss Maisel show. I don't watch it, but I know he's from there. And so the son is going to take over, inherit everything. And I guess the biggest scene of, I think, the show and what kind of sets kind of the plot is the Penguin is talking to him and he's kind of, butter him up. And I think this is a really good part of the show. It shows how slick the Penguin is, right? The Penguin, yes, in the animated show, he's kind of an actual, they make him very cartoonish and like a penguin, and he has an umbrella with a gun, but he's very, very smart. And to make him a gangster, he is a gangster. Even the Danny DeVito one, not so much, but his character should be a gangster in the Iceberg Lounge. And they do a great job here of showing you he's smart. He's not just instantly going for power. He's trying to weasel his way in. Play the long game, similar to, I guess, Kevin Spacey's character in House of Cards a little bit. But the best part about this scene is that he has, at a certain point, the villain comes out. And so Falcone's son pretty much just keeps insulting him, and then he just boom, 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 shoots him, kills him. And I thought that was a great tone for the episode. It was a great reminder that you're not watching... you're watching a rated R show. You're watching a show with cursing. You're watching a show on HBO. You're not watching a show on Disney Plus. And I think that's big to suck in if they want to get viewers who don't give a shit about comic books and just want to watch an HBO show. That's what you got to do. So I thought that was really good. And yeah, it doesn't really beat you over the head with Batman elements. It really setting up Gotham as its own thing, which is really, really important because it's doing a lot of the groundwork for the next Batman movie. When you get to the next the Batman 2, especially if they're going to do the Court of Owls, which it sounds like they're going to do, which is kind of the elite underbelly of Gotham City. And while I'm talking about it, I would recommend watching the animated movies, first Son of Batman, and then Batman vs. Robin, which is Batman vs. Robin is a really good introduction to the Court of Owls and kind of what they're about. And Yeah, they're pretty much like the deep state elite of Gotham who operate behind the scenes and own a lot of the city. And it's tough for Batman to fight him because it's not like a physical opponent. You know, he's got to fight him a lot as Bruce Wayne. So I think that has a lot of potential. But as we continue on to the episode, you know, obviously the Penguin can't let people know that he killed Falcone's son, and he also has a daughter. So now the daughter's in line, and the daughter's pretty smart, so she has suspicion. She pretty much knows the Penguin killed him, but she doesn't know yet. And eventually, at the end of the episode, it gets into this interrogation scene. I'm skipping to the end, and it's pretty brutal. It actually like strips him down pretty like butt naked, which is pretty nasty. But they show his foot, which I think was a good touch because he has like he's like a, I guess you can call a club foot. But that's really why he's the Penguin, why he waddles. So I thought that was good. And eventually the last scene, well, you know what? Before I get to the last scene, so he goes to Maroni in jail, and Maroni is the other Sal Maroni, Falcone Maroni. Maroni's like his you know, his rival, the rival mobster or the rival Don. And he is in jail. He's pretty much been losing this mob war, and he has a ring, and the son has the ring. And what the Penguin does is that he, as like a sign of power, he gives him the ring. And Maroni's pretty shocked because obviously you can only have the ring. Falcone had the ring, so obviously you had to have been near the dead body to get the ring when it happened. Of course, Maroni's also played by Clancy Brown, who's a very good actor, who's, of course, Mr. Krabs and Lex Luthor and a bunch of other voice acting roles. He's also in a bunch of Star Wars projects, so a big fan of him. I thought that was really good casting. And so, yeah, the reason I mentioned the ring is at the end of the episode, right when she's about to, like, torture him pretty much in this greenhouse, a car comes flying in, and in the trunk of the car is her brother's body, Falcone's son, and then, like, that like sketched into like the trunk is like is payback in letters. And so what the Penguin does, and then the episode ends with the Penguin smiling, and this is really good. Obviously the Penguin is trying to start a mob war with Falcone and Maroni, and you can kind of already see this war taking place and him kind of ending as the head mobster, which would be really, really good heading into the Batman 2, obviously, with the Penguin having his power. And you know, obviously, like I said, he doesn't have superpowers. His power is, you know, the connections, being a mobster, having a ton of henchmen. And, you know, it's not like the cartoons. You really have to show it. So I thought this episode was really strong. I think this is the first time, like I said in my non-spoiler review, this is the first time that we've ever gotten, like, a prestige comic show, right? We've gotten the Marvel shows. We've gotten shows on CW. But we've never gotten, like, a week-to-week HBO show. And this is big. This is showing people that, like, there's a lot of source material within the comics that's adult material. And it's been interpreted as, you know, for kids and goofy and, you know, and humorous. But it really could be serious, especially the DC stuff, especially the Batman stuff. So that's my spoiler review. I know there's some stuff. I guess one thing I didn't pick up on is the character Victor, which is kind of like his friend, who's like a troubled youth who seems to be, like, going to be shadowing him for this whole show. And maybe they'll kill him off at the end. Maybe that'll be like the part where he goes really, really bad. I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of the one part I missed. He kind of shows him around Gotham City. There's a lot of good scenes just showing the underbelly of Gotham City. He's establishing an alibi. There's hookers, you know, all the stuff about Gotham. So that's my spoiler review. I really like this episode. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Thanks, guys, for watching. If this is your first time on my channel, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.